All right, and welcome back. We have a special edition of the podcast here as our driver is honking some of the motorcyclists out of the way as we are driving home in a rainstorm. It is rainy season here.
Yeah.
It is rainy season here on Bali Island, but we thought it might be a good opportunity to film a quick episode on the way back.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about today here?
We're talking about actually, it's kind of like the common thing we see when you travel, the group tourism.
Group tourism.
Yeah.
Group tourism. I think there's one specific type of group tourism I'm gonna want to narrow in on later, but we can talk about that when the time comes. But tell us a little bit more about what exactly about group tourism do you want to discuss today?
Well, definitely we can share different thoughts from both sides.
Sure.
But yeah, maybe I can start first. So, because I actually wanted to talk about the kind of the mindset between the group tourism, because I feel like there's definitely a big difference between those kind of, we call it like backpacker or solo travelers, between their
Experience,
especially their mindset, because different experience is triggered by different mindsets,
right?
And compared to them, the group tourism, which, and also I feel like there are a lot of people that have different preference. Some people just naturally they will choose group tourism and will stick to this kind of pattern according to their mindset.
Right.
While the others might prefer more about switch between these two and probably will stick with this. They like solo traveling, or just somehow it's pretty like more self-driven trip. So yeah, I would like to talk about this difference and also the mindset behind all these patterns of traveling.
Sure. Well, I think the one thing that comes to mind for me is, so I think a lot of people are under the impression that if you bring yourself physically to another place,
Mm-hmm.
you're automatically immersed in that new place.
Yeah.
Where I don't think that's true. I think it's about the more of the interactions you have.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times when people go on trips in big groups,
Mm-hmm.
specifically, eventually we'll be talking about the Chinese tour groups.
I would love to share some of the thoughts from my
Sure.
my assumption why they would prefer this kind of pattern.
I know, and I know what you're going to say about that, and the reason they prefer it is the detriment to them actually having an immersive experience. Because the idea is if you're with a large group of the people who are from your place in a new place, and you're going out to dinner together, you're having these activities together. Yes, if you're doing it for fun and for holiday, that's great, but you're not actually experiencing that place, because at the end of the day, it comes down to interacting with the people. That's what's going to actually give you the experience of understanding a new world in the sense of their culture and the way that they interact with each other and the way that they think. And so Chinese tour groups, for those who are not aware, I don't know actually anyone in the world who is unaware of Chinese tour groups, because they come to every city nearby. Anyone who might be listening to this, once in a while you might have seen a giant bus of Chinese tourists in your town, all in one group, not daring to separate from one another. And what I think is unfortunate about this way of travel is, these packages, correct me if I'm wrong, with these packages, it's very popular from everyone meets in a Chinese city, they all fly together from a city to a city in another country.
You first find your group of people and you feel safe, and
you choose your group of people, and then that group of people joins a company's bigger group, and then that group flies from an airport in China to the airport in the other country, and then everything's organized for them, and they're all on this giant tour bus together, and everything's in Chinese, and everything's organized, and they always stick together.
And they just hang out like a big family.
Yes. Now that's great, and I'm sure they're having fun and that they feel safe, but do you think this is the best experience if they want to actually have an immersive experience and like get something out of being there?
Well, honestly, I would say me and my mom or my family are definitely.
You guys are unique, though. You're unique.
Yeah, because we actually, I was thinking probably maybe we're on the blacklist about the group tourism. Because there's one time I'd love to share this story. I will be
Please
quick.
do. Please do.
So yeah, we'll definitely be on the blacklist. I'm joking, but maybe. So before that experience, we're always, because we just do what the other people do. Because to most Chinese, especially for old generation, at that era, like group tourism will be considered as the normal way. Remember the normal way for you
I think
to travel?
even now it is. It's still considered the
Yeah,
normal way in
I would say
China.
back at the time when I was pretty young, like maybe just like 10 or 8. Yeah, it is considered a normal way compared to solo trip. Solo trip would could be considered as like probably the only foreigners would do that, but or some like crazy like pretty romantic college students behavior. That's the things be considered at that time. So long story short, like my family and the other family, we joined one of the tourism from Shanghai to a small city called Lingan I think it's in Hangzhou.
Yeah, so
like
this
pretty
is
close.
this is even for domestic tourism. This is how a lot of the
Yeah.
travel still is. It's not just international trips. Even domestic
Yes.
trips, it's these giant groups.
Yes, so we joined that group tourism, groups. Like, so everyone so you will see like a small like leader or something. Like they would just like just rolling everyone's name, make sure everyone's ready. Then we just go. Normally we just go like all the people, all the members being packed in a giant tour bus. So like every day, so you have a very meticulous and well planned, I would say well planned schedule for everyone. I think it's exactly to like when where you have dinner, when we have a break, when we're allowed to go to the toilet or whatever stuff. It's just perfect at the time
planned, yes.
for all those people. That's exactly what they wish to have, that kind of experience. Everything are well planned. You don't need to worry about when, where. You just shut up your mouth. You just follow all the things that be planned for you.
However,
me, my family, and the other family, we quit on the first and a half day. So the thing is, because it's well planned, so it's kind of like unspoken rule. Like everyone should agree, and no one should be, should have like the different ideas or thought about their or like question the plan. But unfortunately, my family, the other family, we do not happy with one of the plan about ever have to stay in one of the souvenir shop for like at least 2 hours, and we should at least pick something we like there. And also like we feel like we don't like those well planned. I mean, it's great planned activity to go to some tourist attraction. We feel exhausted from spot to spot. We decide to rent a car and just explore like maybe some nice village nearby. And we think it's just okay. And maybe we're trying to negotiate with the leader, but their reaction, they're very furious. They think we're nuts. So no one never asked this kind of thing before, and on the first day. And some people might leave because of they have an issue, like they are sick, or they have an emergency happen back in their home. But nothing like this. And here's the leader is not only mad but also like afraid, because it's just nothing happened like this before. So he feel like we're just not happy with them. We might get like bad reviews on that.
Right.
Yeah, but we insist want to quit, and it actually it was pretty intense.
You just wanted your freedom.
Yeah, we want. Yeah, but at that time we just want freedom, and then he said, "You are so irresponsible. You guys break the deal. You promised we'll stay in the group, and just do whatever the other people do. Now you break the deal. You guys just give a bad model to other people." And I was scared, because to me it's like, oh, we are doing bad things, and everyone. While we argue with them, we already left the two of us. We just stay outside, and other people just stay in the car, and they just keep silently, or maybe just talking shit about us and just watching us. We don't know what they're talking or thinking at the time. I feel embarrassed at the time. I don't know where we want to go.
Right.
But yeah, our parenting says we should go on our own. and then they're like, okay, well, leave you guys here. I won't return the rest of the money. You guys sucks. You break the deal. Maybe we did it wrong because we actually we didn't ask like, but yeah, I think it and also in the end we know that it is acceptable because we're not asking them to return all the money, and we can negotiate that. Also, like we didn't ask them to return the rest of the money.
Right.
So then we start our own trip, and later we figure out it's just so nice to be away from that kind of well-planned schedule. But still, like for some old people or some people, they don't have any plans. It is pretty nice. You don't need to worry about anything. But since then, I feel
well, it's about the people what's the goal of your traveling? Because if it's just to go and to see things and to get the pictures and to spend time with that group that you wanted to travel with, that's a great way to do it. And like the traveling, you're not traveling because like traveling is the thing. You just want to do something that's fun with those people, then that's a good choice. But if you want to actually go have a real experience in a place, that's probably I think that's the worst way to do it. Because you're being protected by the safety of being around the people who you are comfortable with, and then also everything being planned for you. So you don't have to go through any of the general adversity you might face from having to figure things out on your own. But also you're not having any of these, you're not like feeling uncomfortable by having to interact with the people you are not used to interacting with. So I think that again, just because you are physically in a new place does not mean you're actually having a real experience that'll lead to any sort of development necessarily of intercultural skills, right? Yeah,
because while you were talking about that, I was recalling the experience. Also, I also had this conversation with my mom later when I was growing up. We were still like think it's funny like, about this, rebellious behavior. I mean, to them. So like we all agree that it is. So it's more about your, like you said, what's your goal of this trip? So back at the time, but all of us think we prefer to have some unique experience. It should be more than just eat, sleep, take picture, chatting with people you already know, back to the car, eat, sleep, and wait for another call in the morning. That's the kind of thing we don't like. It's like you're actually because traveling is a way to just give you a break from the normal life, like back in the city that you have the schedule and routine things. So which I think ideal trip or like traveling experience for to me is, maybe to you as well, is you have more control of your own time and schedule to allow you to explore something which you weren't able to experience or
well, it's also this idea where you always talk about like things under control. Traveling in those groups is a good way to have everything under control.
Oh, totally under control.
But everything always being under control is not going to lead to the development of the things that we always talk about. Of the resilience, of the ability to face adversity, of the ability to be on your own, the ability to resolve these situations in a place where you don't speak the language, you don't know how things work. Like, that's what you want to develop, and being in these tour groups and traveling like that is the antithesis to the ability and the opportunity to develop those skills.
Exactly. So yeah, that's just my so it's just because I think my experience can represent all people, because I still feel like since group tourism still exists and still going pretty well, and also even to me, if I were gonna take my grandpa or the other of my friends who prefer everything be well planned, maybe this is still like best option to them. But yeah, again, so for any people who want to join group tourist groups, really need to like think through like what's your goal and purpose about the thing you want to experience. Yeah, that's very important.
I don't know. I think it's, again, particular the Chinese tour groups. Just kind of, I mean, it honestly drives me crazy when I see them. It's just because they're like, it's such a characteristic of specifically these Chinese tour groups to just stay within themselves. and only interact with them themselves, and not actually have interactions with perhaps the people that actually live there or other foreigners. They just kind of want to be protected in this bubble. And additionally, they continue with their own behavior that, unfortunately, as we've discussed before, a lot of the interpersonal relations and social actions and way you interact with each other of Chinese people in other contexts is perceived as rude. And unfortunately, even when they are abroad in new situations, that behavior isn't changed. So it's just like, it's whenever you see it, it's just like, I don't know, they just don't adjust their behavior for the place that they are in. And I don't think they would even consider that is a thing that they should be doing. So again, I think it just kind of frustrates me, and I luckily, obviously, there's lots of Chinese people who don't do that, and there are a ton of, I think there are lots of Chinese who will do solo travel and go and live in random corners of the world and are having these meaningful experiences. I know some, I've seen them on the internet, like these people do exist, but it's, I mean, the group travel is a phenomenon specifically in China, and I think it's just, I just wish they were more willing to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think they're overprotected by this kind of, this kind of form of traveling, because I think they want to. Also, the mindset, I assume, it's just my personal guess, is they're, because I know our people well. I mean, a lot of them just try to reduce the risk. So like from our side, probably like sometimes we think like it will be safer to act in group rather than you just doing something alone.
Well, I mean, that's also from foundational Chinese philosophy. You can also draw that back to. That's just the way you guys think.
Yeah.
It's not just that's not just their attitude about travel. That's a general Chinese attitude about the strength of a unit. It's not about the individual. You know?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
The thing is, yeah, I also agree with you. If your goal is like not only just go to the place, see the place, but also like you want to have like very special and unforgettable, especially unique experience, you should get out of that bubble.
Yes.
I would say
you should get out.
Otherwise, I will feel sorry for those people. I mean, that definitely will be a waste of time. I mean, to people who have this kind of goal, you were never got a chance to experience those really deep down local culture. Probably like say if we're doing a group trip, if we say, oh, hey, hi leader, can I just go to the like local round? Like maybe I just be there a little 5 minutes. No, you can't be there. We all have insurance for if you go there and you have the body going, we're gonna be responsible for you. No. And other people, because you go there, other people will think it's unfair for you, and everyone wants to go there. Who are gonna be responsible for your house?
No, it's just tough because I think like the most enriching experiences I've ever had in my life are when I'm in a faraway corner in the world where I don't know anyone in the entire country, and I found myself in a random town that I'm the only foreigner there, and I just have the interactions with the people. Like those are the best experiences I've had, and it's just, if you travel in that way, you'll never have that experience, you know. Yeah, I don't know. But obviously, not everyone's goals are the same. Not everyone likes to purposely put themselves in discomfort like that.
Yeah. So like, but also like, I'm curious. I have a question for you.
Sure.
Because I only been the group tour.
This is wild. By the way, it's pouring and we're just swerving around and continue. Sorry, what's your question?
It's okay. Just think about the group travel, group tourists. I realized maybe I should ask you like, so you've never been in any form of group?
No, I mean, especially when my mom's here, a lot of the time that's what we'll do. Also, occasionally if I'm like, there is a group of sites that I want to go see for one day, And that's the best way to do it, is just hop on the bus rather than like hiring a private car. That'd be unreasonably expensive. Like I will do it then, but I really don't enjoy it's. If you want to go see things, that's the way to do it, because those are what they're designed to do. They're designed to take you go get the pictures, you see the thing. But if you want to know how to live abroad in an immersive way, and actually find yourself in uncomfortable experiences where you're alone and you have to figure stuff out on your own, then that is these group tours, these Chinese group tours specifically. I'm not knacking all group tours. I'm specifically
encourage people like.
I mean, with everything we're saying, at some point I would like you and I to join a Chinese tour group because for us it's the experience of being in the tour group that is going to be our cultural experience. But I don't know. It's anti what I'm about as far as just putting yourself out there and being alone and being vulnerable and having to solve the situations, and then once you realize you can do that, building confidence from that. That's the opposite of what you should be doing.
But funny side is actually I always encourage a lot of my foreign friends who really want to just have a deep taste about what are the deep pretty deep culture about like how Chinese people interact with each other. I say there's one activity if you
join a group tour.
Yeah, you should. No,
we're gonna do that. But the thing is, the cultural experience for us is being in the group tour.
Yes.
That's the point you're making. If you want to have a cultural experience yourself, then maybe you should join a Chinese tour group.
I actually still hold one of the business card from the the various Shanghainese old people tourism company. I'm very surprised they welcome.
Are they connected with the insurance companies? It's funny. A lot of the tour groups in China, a lot of the domestic tour groups are connected to insurance companies.
Yeah.
So for like the older people, they'll when they're shopping around their insurance, they'll offer like this heavily discounted group trip to sign up for the insurance. So then you'll see them all walking around. They're all wearing the same hat, and it says some weird name for an insurance company. Yeah. All right. Well, we are. If the flooding on the roads does not keep us from breaking down, we are a few minutes away from getting home. So let's wrap it up here. And we want to put our gear away, make sure we don't forget anything in the car. But if you are someone who also feels the same way about group trips and likes being in vulnerable situations where you have to figure it out on your own, and again, just develop some of these skills that we always talk about on these episodes, then we encourage you to join the Chameleon Club. It is a group of like-minded people who are living in different corners of the world trying to adjust to life there. So if that sounds good to you, then you can find the link in the description of whatever you are listening to this podcast on right now. I apologize that the camera, it wasn't always like this. The camera has been shifting. It is more on me now. It has not always been like that, and we apologize. I think I probably could have set up a better setting for the gimbal, but as we were piling into this car in the flooding streets, I forgot to change the gimbal setting on the camera. So I hope you will forgive me, and if you can forgive me, then perhaps join the Chameleon Club. And we're gonna wrap it up, but we will. Oh my! It is, dude. There's a few inches of water on the ground here. Okay. If we make it home alive, then there will be another episode up soon. But if you are not patient enough to wait for a new episode to be up, then we'll see you in the Chameleon Club because we will be awaiting you there.
Yeah. See you there.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.